Hey, what is up guys? This is Nishi from MST.TV here, back with another Market Watch episode. So today, of course, we are looking at some cards that saw price jumps in buyouts as a direct result of the October 2021 ban list. It was a pretty small list with not that many changes or hits, but it still had plenty of implications for us going into next format. I feel like the list really sets us up for the Megatins as well as Burst of Destiny, which are bringing us a ton of quality reprints and exciting new archetypes respectively. So make sure that you guys are paying attention to the market so that you guys can try to anticipate what changes are coming and you can respond accordingly. Let's get started. Alright, so kicking things off, let's take a look at one of the most notable cards to dodge the ban list. We have RedEyes Dark Dragoon. So Dragoon is one of the craziest monsters in the game, a beast either in a simplified game state where it's the only monster on the field, or being something that you can add to the end of a combo when you just turn any two monsters into a Verte Anaconda. A lot of people actually thought that either Verte Anaconda or Dragoon would have been banned on this list, but the fact that it got through unscathed has caused it to shoot up in price. While the card was pretty high in price before at 75 to 80, it is now right up at the $100 mark, though I believe that copies have sold as high as $120 on TCG Player. It is a bit difficult to say whether or not you should pick this card up because TCG Konami clearly thinks that the card is fine, and to be fair, it isn't being abused in absolutely everything the way that it was in the OCG. Of course, it'll be interesting to see how a card that is so iconic now eventually gets reprinted. Personally, I think that it will be just like the BLS Soldier of Chaos, the Link monster that was from Battles of Legend Heroes Revenge, and will be reprinted in equally high rarities so that it will still be used as a chase card. I wouldn't be surprised to see it get either an ultimate rare or ghost rare printing within the next year. Alternatively, of course, it could be reprinted in a side set as just a secret or an ultra rare, which would obviously bring down the price if the card isn't too difficult to pull. It's up to you guys, but if you're playing something like Drytron where your deck is just better off running Dragoon, it's probably still not a horrible idea just to make sure that you at least own the one copy. At $100 though, I wouldn't expect this card to get very much higher in price, so it's probably not something that you want to own a ton of copies of. Alright, next up is a card that we did talk about maybe a week or two ago. It is Predaplant Verte Anaconda, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about this card because we all kind of know what it is, especially having just talked about RedEyes Dark Dragoon, but of course, without any hit to the Dragoon engine, and with Verte probably going to see even more play after Burst of Destiny comes out with Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, Verte Anaconda saw a really significant jump in price, going from $40 all the way up to almost double that at $70 to $75 now on TCG Player. This was kind of a gamble if you did buy it last week, although a pretty educated one if you didn't think the package was going to be hit at all, so hopefully you guys own a copy or two of this card for your own use already. Now, unlike Dragoon, I could definitely see Verte Anaconda getting a slightly lower rarity reprint to improve its accessibility to the player base, as it's not just useful as a Dragoon package piece, it can also be used in decks like Prank Kids or Shadulls as well. It only has the one dual overload printing for now, but for the sake of those of you that don't already own this card, I really do hope that it gets reprinted in either Brothers of Legend or Maximum Gold Eldorado. Moving on from the Dragoon package to a card that was actually freed up on this list, we have Danger Nessie. So the Danger archetype used to be one of the most splashable in the game, and for a while we did see it thrown into absolutely everything. I think at one point we even saw like Danger Salamangreat, something silly like that. Anyways, the engine was clearly too strong and generic before, with all of the cards basically being bodies and an upstart goblin built into one, and so we saw Tsuchinoko, Jackalope, and Nessie all got hit to 2 and then to 1, and everyone actually kind of thought it was fair. I don't think anyone really questioned it at the time. Now, however, Konami actually decided to bring Nessie back to 2, which is odd because in my opinion, Nessie is the best of the 3 that were hit, allowing you to search for another danger card from your deck if it itself is discarded. It's not yet clear if the Danger engine will be played in any meta decks this format since it wasn't being used before, and it is just the one card peeling off the list, but maybe as time goes on it'll inspire people to pick up a Dark World variant or something crazy like that. Anyways, the jump in the price of Nessie was pretty immediate as the Ultras went from $7 to now being $13 and the Secrets shot all the way up to $25 a piece. I personally am a really big fan of the Danger cards and I do hope that they will be used in something eventually. I think that right now isn't really the time for them. They don't really fit into any meta strategies right now, so I could definitely see Nessie dropping a bit more as the hype slowly dies down for them, with the Ultras maybe hitting around $10 and then the Secrets at around 15 to 20 and then staying steady for a little while. It all kind of depends on whether or not any upcoming meta decks will actually be able to take advantage of these cards, as well as if it becomes popular enough for the cards to warrant a reprint in the near future. So I debated whether or not to put another Danger card in here, but I decided that I'm actually going to briefly talk about Danger Bigfoot. So Bigfoot is another Danger monster, actually one of the ones that debuted in Cybernetic Horizon alongside Nessie. But instead of searching, if you discard this card, you get to destroy a face-up card on your opponent's side of the field. Now, this card was never hit or anything like that. It's definitely a pretty popular Danger monster nevertheless. As a level 8, it gets played as a trade-in target, and it's a pretty scary 3000 attack point body on the field as well. The point here, though, is that alongside Nessie, I would be taking a look at other Danger monsters. Bigfoot is notable because it only had 2 relatively difficult to find printings, the original Secret Rares and Mega Tin Ultras. The other card like this is Tsuchinoko, though that card is still limited to 1, and as a result isn't as expensive. Now, aside from these, other cards were too easy to access initially, such as Mothman, or they have additional reprints that make them way too easy to find, cards like Jackalope or Thunderbird. Now with Bigfoot, we see that Secret Rares have gone from $12 to $20, and the Ultras have gone from $7 to $15. I think that if any deck were to try to play the Danger engine, there's a good chance that they will want to play Bigfoot as well. I'm not saying that you should go out and pick up Bigfoot specifically. Actually, if anything, you should probably offload them while they are at this inflated price, since it will probably get a reprint similarly to how Thunderbird did in Ghosts from the Past. But do keep an eye on the various other Danger monsters and consider grabbing sets of the really cheap ones just in case the engine starts to get popular and the cards start to trend upwards. Alright, so we're on to another card that peeled off the list to 2. This one is Emergency Teleport. So this card is actually pretty crazy in theory. It's really simple, special summoning a level 3 or lower psychic monster from your hand or deck. It has a lot of potential applications, possibly being useful in Virtual World or Cosmo, or as part of the Assault Mode package, which we'll take a look at after. Anyways, this card was limited for the longest time, but finally managed to peel itself off of the list. Now, even though the card does have multiple printings, because it went from 1 to 2, we did see price bumps all across the board for all of its different rarities. The Ultimate Rare as the highest rarity bumped the most, all the way up to around $90 on TCG Player at the moment. The Secret Rares, which are in my opinion the nicest rarity of the card, are all the way up at $35. And then the lower rarities, which are the various Ultra Rares and the Gold Rare, range anywhere from $5 to $10, which honestly isn't that crazy. However, Ghosts from the Past Ultras, which were pretty easily accessible, went from $2 to $5 in a day or two, which is a notable price jump. Anyways, I actually think that this card is going to be really good and see a decent amount of play. Keep in mind that we have Gamma still at 3 in the TCG, unlike in the OCG, and I think Ghost Ogre is also going to be good next format, and both of these are targets that you can potentially summon off of Emergency Teleport, so we could see it used to take advantage of these hand traps that you don't want to top deck, so that they can also provide multiple functions. I'm really excited to see what this card can do, and it comes at a great time in my opinion, with Virtual World underperforming recently, but receiving a lot of holo upgrades in the 2021 Megatins. In my opinion, you guys should definitely be grabbing yourselves a set of Ghosts from the Past Ultra Rares, which look really clean, because I feel like the card will definitely see some meta play with it finally going to 2, and I would definitely make sure that you grab 3 copies, just in case it goes to unlimited status on the January 2022 ban list. Okay, so there's a couple of smaller dollar cards here that I want to point out to you guys. They are Psy Reflector and Assault Beast. So for those of you who pay attention to the OCG, this is actually something that saw play there for a little while, but with Emergency Teleport now going to 2 here in the TCG, this little package might be something that we start to see here as well. So Psy Reflector is a fairly simple card, letting you search for Assault Beast when it is normal or special summoned. It also lets you summon a monster from your graveyard that lists Assault Mode Activate in its text, and then modify that card's level. So the really basic combo here is that you use E-Telly to bring out Reflector, use Reflector to search for Assault Beast, dump the Assault Beast to search for Assault Mode Activate, then use Reflector to revive Assault Beast and modify its level so that you can bring out a Synchro monster between level 5 and 9, all without burning your normal summon. This combo is all enabled by E-Telly, since it allows you to do this without burning your normal summon, which is kind of crazy. With only 1 E-Telly, you're probably playing too many bricks to justify this combo, but with 2 copies of E-Telly in the game, maybe it'll be something that people try out. To be fair, I don't know which decks would actually want to try to play it, but weirder things have happened. We haven't seen too much price action from either of these cards, as they are only $1 at the moment. Assault Beast has a common and a rare printing, though each of them is relatively old, and Psy Reflector has just the one rare printing available, so I think it might actually be worth picking up a few copies of each of these cards just in case this little package starts to see play. Either way, they're definitely cards that are worth setting aside out of your bulk piles if you can find them. One other card to touch on briefly here that I'm sure you guys know about, it is Fusion Destiny. So of course this is the card that enables Destroy Phoenix Enforcer to be such a splashable card, allowing you to fuse materials directly from your deck. Even though it isn't out yet, after everyone saw that Verte Anaconda wasn't hit on the ban list, people immediately turned and picked up Fusion Destiny, as it's basically guaranteed to still be a pretty cool combo in just a couple of months, where Verte Anaconda becomes another way to bring out the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. The Destiny Hero package has become extremely popular in the OCG, and I think a lot of people here think that it will be just as popular in the TCG, though to be fair, it's not guaranteed, as we still have Dragoon here while Dragoon is banned over in the OCG. Anyways, people have just assumed that the Destiny stuff will be good here, and so within the last 2 days we saw both the super and ultra rare versions of Fusion Destiny go from anywhere from $5 to $6 to now being $10 to $12 cards, basically doubling in price overnight. There are still a few factors that could affect how this card's price moves though. If it gets no reprint and is good here in the TCG, then the card could move up to $15 or $20, and in fact it will probably creep up over the next month or so as we get closer to the release of Burst of Destiny. But if the package doesn't see as much play here, or Fusion Destiny were to get reprinted, maybe as an OTS common, it's totally possible that Fusion Destiny goes back to being a $5 card. If you don't already own a set of this card, I think owning a set is probably pretty safe, since there's also the possibility that Dragoon could be hit on the following ban list and then this rotates into the format. Either way, it's a cool splashable package that you guys will want to have access to just in case. Alright, the last card I want to note here is probably something that's a bit more under the radar for now. It is Brigade Kit. I'm hearing a lot of people saying different things about the Brigade strategy following the ban list. On one hand, they lost Barrage and 2 tankies, which severely hurts their ability to take advantage of the Zodiac engine. I don't know if they're still going to play that engine, and whether or not the best new variant is going to be Zodiac Brigade or a pure Brigade build. We should find out in a few weeks as people test. However, I think most people agree that with Revolt and Shurag still at 3, the deck should be really solid still. Now, most of the cards in the Brigade strategy are to be reprinted in the Megatons. Cards like Fractal, Shurag, and Farragut are all in there. However, I think it is worth noting that Kit is actually not, because it was printed a little bit later in Blazing Vortex. Kit is a really good card for the strategy, being a level 2 monster that can be summoned off of Rescue Cat that allows you to dump Nerval when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, which in turn fetches you another Brigade monster from your deck. Even though Kit is only a super rare, it's still a $2 card already, and if Brigade is going to still be as good next format as people expect it to be, I could definitely see this card trending upwards, as it isn't expected to be reprinted until the 2022 Megatons. I could definitely see this card hitting $5 a piece, especially since this is a card that you're probably going to want to play multiple copies of if you guys are looking to play Brigades over the next couple of months to take advantage of the cheap reprints coming in the 2021 Megatons. Definitely look at grabbing your set of kits early, just in case they do spike. Okay guys, that is it for today's episode. Sure, this ban list was small, but it was actually extremely telling about the next 4 months of Yu-Gi-Oh! It really set us up well for the 2021 Megatons. I'm especially excited for the Megatons coming out. I ordered like 20 cases or something like that for myself. I'm really excited to crack them open. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy today's Market Watch episode, please do hit that thumbs up button for me to let me know. Also, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know about what you guys think about the ban list, about the cards we talked in today's episode, or about what other cards might be trending on the market as a result of the ban list so that I can cover them in a future episode as well. Also, please do consider subscribing to the channel for all of the latest and greatest content from both Tombox and myself. And until next time, guys, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV.